Welcome, everyone, to Merle's Pearls of Wisdom, where happiness starts with you. You're in charge. And I'm Merle M. Singer, the Relationship Miracle Worker. You can find me at relationshipmiracleworker.com, by the way, and you can get all your videos and podcasts there. Well, today I'm interviewing a very interesting person. I know because he told me that. His name is Professor Frank Chindamo. What's CHP?
I'm a certified humor professional.
Of course, I knew that. I knew that. And he founded LaughMD Incorporated to answer the question, if laughter is the best medicine, why don't we use it as medicine?
Good
And
question.
it is a good question. And there is evidence to prove that laughter is actually medicine.
There are 400 studies that show that laughter has
400
some
studies.
benefit or another.
Okay, maybe we could do one or two.
Well, that's why I'm in a lab coat right now, is because I'm at an oncology clinic, the Oncology Institute of Hope and Innovation here in Glendale, California, to give the LaughMD app to patients and to test whether laughter helps improve their outcomes or not.
Okay. But
Yeah.
but but you do have from USC's Norris Cancer Center, LaughMD reduced the pain in cancer patients. 91% of the cancer patients reported having less pain as
Yes,
a result of that.
that's right.
That
Exactly.
that's pretty significant.
Well, true, and if you think about it, if you laugh, things hurt less, right? Not just because it's your intuition, but because serotonin and dopamine and endorphins are flowing through your system, which actually increase the positivity and lower the negativity in your system, to put it simply.
So the mind and the body is related.
They are related, Merle. Do I
The
need to send you
mind
back to
and the
grammar
body
school?
are related. I accept that correction.
Okay. Or they be related, depending on what neighborhood you're in.
But it is a significant concept to bring forward because I think many people separate our mind from our body and think that whatever is going on with the body is solely the responsibility of the body
Right.
and the mind likewise and when they actually talk to each other.
Right, exactly. I mean, hopefully that ideology is going away and people understand that we are one system and that the brain and the mind and the body are all one system. And so, think about it. If you're really angry and you have pain, the pain's going to be worse. If you're really stressed and nervous, the pain is going to be worse. If you're in a good mood and you're happy, the pain, or especially if you're laughing, the pain will seem less. And that's what a lot of the studies that we've done with LaughMD are showing. So,
I think you're just not focused on it. I
true, true.
you just it's interesting how where we focus our attention uh, uh, um, makes us not focus on something else. I mean,
Right,
as much
exactly.
as we can do two things at one time, and we can kind of, but not as much as we think.
Right, exactly. I mean, there's people think metatasking is an all-encompassing benefit, but it's usually not. Um, yes, if you're involving two different centers of brain activity, like a lower brain activity like driving and a higher brain activity like talking to a friend, yeah, you can drive and talk to a friend at the same time. You can walk and chew gum at the same time, right? But in this
Exactly.
world of distraction, where we think we can do like a text and then an email and then watch the video and have the TV on in the background and all that, those are all similar brain activities, and you ought not to do that if you want to stay focused.
On something.
Exactly. If you want to do one thing right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. I used to do a test with my students when I taught at USC and UCLA, where I would say, okay, write the number 1 through 50 and then write the alphabet, or write the numbers 1 through 26 and write the alphabet backwards, right?
Oh,
And when they would do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10 and Z, blah, 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 A, they would do it in about 30 seconds. When I said, okay, write the number and then the letter and then the number and then the letter. It would take them twice as long and they made twice as many mistakes when they
that's
were
interesting.
multitasking.
Oh, that's very interesting. Hmm.
Yeah, which is why I'm not doing this interview backwards.
Oh, I was recording it backwards.
Oh, okay, great.
So, um, as, some of the discoveries that you've made are, I think, okay, your book is very interesting. How's that?
Well,
Because
that's a discovery that you've made, Merle.
that's a discovery that I've made.
Yes.
And I've discovered that it's
Uh-huh.
an online book and it's
Yes.
available at
Yes.
laughmed.com.
As in laughter is medicine, yes. And the book is called If Laughter is the Best Medicine, Let's Use It as Medicine, The New Science of Humor in Healthcare. And there's the cover. That's right.
I
Thank you
do
very much, Merle.
I like the cover. You know, my father was a
Hold
pharmacist
on a second. I got to get a picture of you holding that up.
and my uncle was a pharmacist and my husband was a pharmacist.
That's right. That's right. And
So
one of
I
your uh, your son Dr. Singer wrote a very fine review for the book, and your grandson Jacob Singer is going to be helping us with our sixth study, as a matter of fact.
yes, but this
So,
picture is in a pharmacy. Yes, uh, which is uh, which is a side issue. So I want to focus on the topic of laughter's medicine because I think it's important as much as you think that it's getting more widespread, that people are understanding it more. I think that I loved I loved what's his name Cousins, Norman Cousins.
sure.
I
Can I
I
tell you share the story of Norman Cousins with your listeners?
I think that would be excellent.
Okay, great. So it's the 1960s, the hippie generation, acid, coolness, the Beatles, there's a writer, an editor of the Saturday Evening Post, a very fancy magazine. He is a diplomat. He's traveling to foreign countries like Russia to try and establish world peace. This is a really important person, Norman Cousins, and he comes back from a trip and doesn't feel well. He feels worse and worse. He's diagnosed with something called ankylosing spondylitis, and that is a fatal disease at the time. And his choices are basically, do you want to die standing up or laying down because your whole body is going to seize up? And he said, I'd rather not die. Let's try something revolutionary. So, for some reason, he thought that two things would help him. One was high doses of vitamin C, and the other was laughter. Now, it's the 1960s. There's no, tapping on your phone and watching a TikTok of AI puppies, right? It's the 1960s. So the way that he could get laughter was because he's influential have people bring a movie theater projector to his hospital room and play 16 millimeter films of the Marx Brothers and Lucille Ball and Burns and Allen.
But he checked out of the hospital.
Right,
And
exactly. He was disturbing the patients and the
well,
doctors. Yeah,
well, it was a bad atmosphere for him because they weren't funny.
exactly.
Hospitals don't tend to be funny.
They don't tend to be funny.
So
They tend to be
he
rather
rented a
morose. Yeah.
hotel room,
Exactly. So he checks himself into the Mayflower Hotel, and there he can watch all the movies he wants, and he is soon cured, as if he never had the disease, and he's able to play tennis and continue living his life. And because he's such a good writer, he becomes the first non-doctor to write an article for the New England Journal of Medicine as to how he cured himself using laughter. And it was later found that the vitamin C was simply a placebo, that it was the laughter. And UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles, said, "This is so interesting. Would you come and teach here in our medical school? Even though you're not a doctor, come teach here." He did, and they even named a building after him.
which is a big thing for doctors, the medical community,
Exactly.
because
Yeah,
they don't welcome you easily.
they do not. They do not. And at UCLA, when we proposed LaughMD, which is an app that plays comedy videos and then assesses your health status, um, we had a vote, and 32 out of 32 nurses said, yes, we'd like to have this here at UCLA. And we're hoping that the bureaucrats who then delayed it will undelay it and get it in there. Because UCLA was the first institution to recognize this. They have a building named after the guy who promulgated the phrase, laughter is the best medicine. So I'm hoping they jump in.
If one of our viewers, listeners, knows anybody in the administration at UCLA,
You can
would
reach
that
me through the
help?
book, LaughMD. And the app is called LaughMD, LaughMD. But reach me through the book. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. That wouldn't that be good?
Who else do you want to
Um,
hear about?
you said my question is how can what is it? You said the thing you want to do is sell the book.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to say that on the air, Merle.
Why not? I mean, anyway,
Uh-huh.
what other, but I want to know what your goals are. If we sell the book, what will that accomplish?
Well, the book it's a science book with some comedy in it and a lot of links to funny things as well.
Yes,
So
I know.
when we talk about like female comedians who advance the cause of mental health, like Taylor Tomlinson has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and she talks about it on stage, and it's actually a thematic reoccurrence in her comedy. She's got a new special on Netflix right now called Prodigal Daughter. It's hilarious. And you know, she was able to manage that bipolar disorder and become a famous comedian. So did Maria Bamford. So, Tig Notaro did an act one time where she came out and said, "Hi, I have cancer. How's everybody doing?" Right? These are comedians who have made the world a better place through their comedy. That's one of the things that we spotlight in the book is how both doctors and lay people and comedians have made the world a better place through comedy.
Agreed. There's no argument. How so? my thing is, why can't we get it into into more hospitals?
Well, I think laughter and comedy are viewed as a nice to have, not a need to have. But the study that we just did, that's about to be released in a science journal called Cranio, that study showed that we were able to reduce pain in chronic pain patients by 60% in just 4 weeks. Now, opioids do 50. So if we can beat opioids, that's pretty good, right? So maybe now it's a need to have.
You think so? Don't you think pharmaceutical companies will be concerned?
I think they are beginning to understand that it's not always just one thing that helps, that you need sometimes a bouquet of options, right?
Well,
And we don't say laughter is the best medicine at our company. We say laughter is the best complement to medicine. It's a complementary thing, as in that's a very lovely scarf you're wearing. Complimentary.
And how charming you are.
Why, thank you. Now, does everybody know? They may not know this, but I live with the lovely and wonderful Tasha Hinchliffe, thanks to you, Merle Singer, because you're the relationship miracle worker, you're the uncracking the relationship code coach that got me to go outside of my dating bubble and expand it to the point where I did meet Tasha. And so 5.5 years later, I'm a happy man because of you.
Yes. It makes me happy to see you happy now.
Yes,
I mean,
thank you
these
very
years
much.
later, it's
Yes,
nice.
exactly. Yes, we'll be at your house for Passover.
Will you?
I hope so. Yeah, we'll talk dates later, but yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Putting in my count now.
Oh, good. So
Um,
that
oh,
being said,
yeah.
the one question that you wanted to talk to me about was how you, the patient, or you, the doctor, can use laughter to help your health.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and ask.
I thought you were psychic. So I'd like you to start with how the doctor can
Sure,
use medicine, laughter as medicine.
sure. Um, so the a doctor can use laughter as medicine in a couple of different ways. Now, of course, there is the LaughMD app, which will be available to the public soon, which plays comedy videos and assesses your health status. Um, right now, we've got 40,000 comedy videos on there. But in addition to that, doctors can follow the same advice that I give to patients, which is watch comedy. And in the chapter, there's a hierarchy of how to experience comedy. The best possible way to experience comedy is to see it live in a play or to see it at a comedy club and to see it with friends because the live interaction heightens the experience. The interpersonal interaction heightens the experience. I once thought uh, I'd heard a study that showed that you were 7 times more likely to laugh when you're with another person. Now, that's actually not true. It's 30. You are up to 30 times more likely to laugh when you're with other people. That's why comedy clubs seat people so close together.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. So now you know. And that's why they make it cold in there. If you ever go see Stephen Colbert, it's freezing in there. So, um, So experience laughter live with other people if you can. If you can't do that, experience laughter with other people. Watch a funny TV show or movie with a friend or a relative or a spouse or the kids, right? Doing it again with other people. If you can't do that, watch a funny movie or a TV show on your own. If you can't do that, the bottom of the ladder is social media video. Ask me why.
Why?
Good question.
I only ask good questions.
Yes. Because is Facebook actually your friend? Is TikTok really out there to benefit your health?
No.
They're not. It's the opposite, actually. They're literally on trial right now in Los
Yeah.
Angeles because they've caused suicides, heartache,
Yeah.
physical ailments. They are causing low self-esteem issues, personality
A
disorders, all
whole
that
other
sort of thing.
topic. Whole
Whole
other
other topic.
topic.
But
When profit is above benefiting the person you're supposedly helping.
Well, that's a conversation certainly, but the bottom line is that their business model is to get as much of your time and as much of your data so they can sell you as much stuff as possible and to keep you on their platform and off other platforms for as long as possible,
Only for
right?
profit.
Only for profit, right? Exactly. That's their business model, right?
That's
LaughMD's business model is to improve your health.
yeah,
All
exactly.
right. We make more money if your health improves.
Exactly.
So we're
Exactly.
aligned. Um,
Well,
but
so the answer is I do watch humor. I do pick out my favorite comedians or
oh,
anybody who's on. How's
good.
that? And yes, I think it does make a difference.
Yeah. I mean, the one exception to the rule on social media comedy would be if you have a subscription to YouTube Premium, not just plain old YouTube, but YouTube Premium, it's about 12 or $13 a month. Totally worth it. I talk about this in the book. And with YouTube Premium, you're not seeing ads, you're not seeing banners, you're not seeing commercials,
Right.
no mid-roll breaks or
Oh yeah,
pre-rolls or
that's
anything
right.
like
Right.
that. And you can create a playlist so that you can pick it out, put it in your playlist, and give yourself an hour of clean, fresh, uninterrupted comedy. That's the one exception to the rule. So that's my little trick for you. Now, you asked about a doctor. In addition to those things, a doctor should be able to watch some comedy and be able to share it with a patient and say, "Hey, did you see this little cat on a Roomba? Isn't this funny, patient?" Or doctor can see a funny TV show that's on and say, "Hey, did you see this week's episode of Shrinking, for example?" Or I bet you're a fan of the show Maude, or something to that effect, so that you establish a common ground. And there's a guide in there for doctors of what you can talk about and what you can't talk about. You can't say something like, how's it going, fatty? Just kidding. That would be bad, right? Don't say that. Um, so,
Especially when I'm in there for zip bound.
exactly, right. Wow. So, if a doctor walks in and says, "Let me guess, you're here for Ozempic," I said, "No, my knee hurts." What do you mean Ozempic?
Oh, I thought you were pregnant.
See, that's a what not to do, right? But there are things that you can talk about, things that are outside of yourself, or you can commiserate about, the medical system. You never talk politics, for example. It's okay to talk family, that kind of a thing. So there's that. And in fact, I do have a tip for doctors, which is if you really want to be good at it, I don't say learn stand-up comedy because that takes years to learn. And at the end of years of work in stand-up comedy, maybe you've got a tight half hour. Okay.
So you quit your job as a doctor. You go
Exactly.
become
Well, we have a chapter on the doctors who quit their job as a doctor or who split their time, like Ken Jeong. Ken Jeong is an MD. He keeps his medical license, but he starred in The Hangover and Crazy Rich Asians. And all kinds of television shows, right? So there are doctors that do that. Dr. Mike on YouTube. I love Dr. Mike. He's hilarious, right? There are plenty of doctors who do that. Dr. Glockenflecken does sketches on what it's like to be a doctor, and he's hilarious. Doc Schmidt is hilarious. There are a lot of doctors that do this. But let's say you're a doctor, you're out there, and you say, "Well, I want to learn comedy. I want to do this." The tip I have for you is learn improv.
Oh, right.
Learn improv, because with improv, you can learn it very quickly. You learn a lot. The learning curve is like very steep in the beginning, and then it's just a question of getting better and better at it, right? But it's skills and tools that you have within your first 4 weeks of doing it that can help you be a better listener.
I, I, I think picturing my doctors.
Okay.
I think if I could get them to just say, "Oh, when you're feeling depressed, why don't you watch some good comedy?" Would be a great start. I can't imagine maybe one
Mm.
that could say anything funny.
Of your
My
doctor.
doctors are nowhere near funny.
Right.
They're very serious and they're very tuned in to their territory. Like a doctor, uh, if you have a doctor that helps your elbow, you're lucky if he can also help your knee. They're very
Right. Right.
specialized
Sure.
within medicine. I don't see them being funny, but I do see them recommending funny.
Good. Good. Well, um, a doctor will benefit from watching comedy the same way anyone else
Oh,
will.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And by having more serotonin and endorphin and
Oh, thank
dopamine in their system, it will relieve their stress. And in the first two
totally.
studies that we did with LaughMD, the first one showed that in 60 minutes of comedy at the USC Institute for Genetic Medicine, that we lowered doctor stress, well, healthcare worker stress,
Oh,
by
sure.
96% in 60
Oh, yeah,
minutes.
totally. I believe it.
No doctor has 60 minutes free until 3 weeks after they retire.
True.
So we did it again at Chapman University when I was teaching there, and this made the front page of Chapman's website. And we showed that with just 3 minutes of comedy, that it lowered those healthcare workers' stress by 13%, which is statistically significant,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
right?
Yeah. No, that I think that's a reasonable goal.
Okay, then, 3 minutes of comedy. I think we've given you a lot more than 3 minutes, haven't we, Merle?
I just think the concept of the power of comedy as as a health benefit
Hmm.
is so important
Sure.
that I would love that concept to be spread more widely.
Well, let me start and end because I have to go after this with a quick story. In 1981, I was an intern, and then I actually wound up writing for Saturday Night Live. So I have a background in comedy, right? I worked on Ghostbusters. I made comedy movies all my life. And when I was working at SNL, my dad was across town in a hospital dying of cancer. And I wished that there was some way that I could take what we were doing at SNL and bring it to his hospital room because, laughter is the best medicine, right? Now, we couldn't do that, but eventually, yeah, LaughMD got to play comedy videos, a channel of comedy videos, because by that time I had made a whole bunch of comedy movies for like HBO and stuff. And we got to play those comedy videos on the TVs at Cedars-Sinai and Kaiser Permanente. And they said, this is great. I said, can you pay us? They said, no, bring us data. So since 2016, we've been doing study after study after study to show that this idea of laughter, this idea of comedy videos can merge with the 400 studies that show that laughter in general helps, that this particular solution helps, to the point where we want LaughMD to be used, by all patients to make everyone feel better, right? Get funny, feel better. In the future, and this is what I'll close with, in the future, there's a continuum of things that are happening as we understand more about science. It used to be that you went to the doctor and they would just look at your knee and not talk to you and just look at your symptoms and all that. And now doctors converse and they'll ask you, are you eating right? Are you getting enough sleep? Right? Because those are factors involved in your health. My prediction and my hope is that they'll ask about, are you getting enough laughter? Are you getting enough, eating right? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you getting enough laughs? Someday your doctor's going to ask you about that. And I just hope I am not dead when they start.
Well, that's not funny.
And yet you found it hilarious.
Well, that's me.
Uh, to quote Groucho Marx, leave them laughing. So, can we plug the book?
So, uh, yes, don't forget to buy the book. It's online. It's easy to read online, and you can push little things and watch videos as a result of it. It's
Yeah.
very, very interesting, fun book, and you can get it at laughmed.com.
LaughMed.com. Thank you very much. And I adore you, Merle. Thank you for improving my life and adding a whole lot of laughs to my life.
Ah, that's cute. It's not quite funny, but